It's so exciting to see people joining, especially folks from outside of the Morgantown area. That's kind of been a cool part of this. I didn't think about people doing yoga from outside of the studio area. Yay! Cool. I'll chat for just a second and then we'll get started. Week 3 of our online Sunday sessions. I hope everybody's well. I feel like as we gather more data as things come out, obviously we're probably carrying more and more stress and anxiety. So I hope that everybody has found something that you can do to kind of shake it off, some kind of movement every day, whether it's a yoga class online or just something that you're doing at home, some stretching. Hey, Leslie. Maybe it's going to be just going for a walk when the weather is nice, taking the dog out, doing some kind of movement with your kids, your family at home. I think at this time we're gathering so much tension and anxiety that having the opportunity to just move our bodies and breathe every day is going to be really beneficial. So again, if you can't watch this whole video all the way through, check out our YouTube channel. It's WVB Kindred, all one word, space yoga, and we've got our Sunday sessions posted up there along with a couple of other smaller classes that and little videos that Shelly and I have done. Just if you're at home and you're feeling like you need to move but you need a little guidance, you need somebody to boss you around. I know that's how I feel right now. I'm having a hard time just going through a practice at home. I need to be told what to do because my brain is just so full of stuff. So being able to check in with an online yoga class like that hopefully will be really beneficial. Let's get started. Okay. We're going to come first to crocodile pose, and I'm going to show you how to come into the pose, and then you'll notice that I kind of pop my head up a little bit, but I don't want you to pop your head up. I want you to keep your head down. And I'll tell you a little bit about how crocodile pose has changed and improved my life so much. Crocodile pose is a wonderful way to really come into a healthy pattern of abdominal breathing. My daughter and I even made a little mini crocodile pose video that her principal shared for kids to be able to understand how to take nice calming breath, which I thought was super great. Crocodile pose looks like this. You're going to come to lie on your belly, and you're going to fold your forearms in front of you like this. Let your feet come out wider than your hips, and if it's comfortable to do so, I hope you can see my feet, but they're resting so that the toes are out and the heels are in. And then to finally rest in the pose, I want you to rest your forehead on your forearms. Like I said, here's where you're going to notice I'm not demoing anymore. I'm going to keep my head popped up so that my voice carries. One of the reasons that crocodile pose is so beneficial is it gives you almost instant feedback into your breath and where it's kind of coming from. So particularly in times of stress and anxiety, our breath tends to be all up in our upper chest. And that breath is sort of associated with more nervous or anxious thoughts. And so it becomes a really vicious cycle of tense and anxious thoughts causing shallow, anxious breathing, which leads to more tense and anxious thoughts. And that's just a hard train to get off of. So one of the things that's nice about crocodile pose is as you're breathing here, I want you to think about pressing your belly into the floor on the inhale and softening your body and just relaxing on the exhale. And you can see here how you can transition that breath into the lower belly. You'll notice your side ribs kind of expand and contract gently. You'll notice even maybe you feel a little bit of your breath almost in your lower back as it lifts on the inhale and relaxes on the exhale. I didn't realize what kind of trouble I would get into in terms of stressful breathing patterns until I really started doing crocodile pose. And then remembering during the course of a day to come back to that belly breath. So spend a couple of moments here as you inhale, really noticing your belly pushing into the floor. And as you exhale, just softening. Ribs expand, lower back lifts on the inhale, softening everything on the exhale. And now bring a little bit more visualization into it. Imagine those inhales are nourishing you, breathing fully, and your exhales are cleansing, getting rid of anything you don't need. So we'll just stay here a couple more breaths, enjoying our crocodile pose, reconnecting with a really supportive, beneficial kind of breathing. You can come back to crocodile pose anytime you would need to. If you notice your breath is getting really tense and you feel like you can't get a handle on it, just take a couple minutes laying down somewhere comfortable in crocodile. Two more breaths here. Enjoying that nice supportive breath. And then we're going to transition out of crocodile pose, but we're not going to go far. All we're going to do is come back to child's pose. So let your feet come a little bit closer together so they're more like parallel on the mat. Hands are going to come underneath the shoulders, and we're just going to press back to child's pose. So knees are as wide or as narrow as comfortable. And then come to rest your forehead on the floor. And again, you're going to notice I'm not taking child's pose right now, just so my voice will carry. But you can still find your crocodile breath in your child's pose. So take a second here to feel like your belly is reaching towards the floor, pressing towards your thighs. Nice, full, cleansing belly breaths. Notice if there's any other part of your body. Kind of move your attention away from your breath for a second. Check in with shoulders, check in with hips. See if there's any place that you're holding on to tension. And now imagine as you inhale, opening up there. Exhale, letting go of that tension. Couple more breaths. Remembering that if at any point during the practice you need to take a little break, child's pose is perfect. So taking a child's pose, bringing your focus and your attention back to that lower belly breath, it's perfect. Feels like home base. And together, let's take one big, full, kindred breath. So we're going to inhale deeply and exhale, sigh it out. Nice. From child's pose, go ahead and carefully press up to a comfortable tabletop position. So shoulders are stacked over our wrists. Hips are going to be stacked over the knees. We're going to warm up first with a little bit of cat-cow. So as you inhale, drop the belly, gaze forward towards the ceiling. Exhale, round the back, dome the shoulders, tucking the chin. Inhale, melt the belly, gaze up. And as you exhale, press the floor away from you, really arching the back like a cat. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, press the floor away. Go ahead and flow through this at your own breath, your own pace a couple of times. Remember, we're not changing the pace of our breath to meet our movement. We're slowing our movement down to match the pace of our breath. Two more rounds in either direction. Your breath, your pace. Opening up and warming up through the midsection. Beautiful. Go ahead and come back to a neutral spine. Drive your foot straight out behind you and then swing it out wide, planting the toes so that they're roughly in line with that left knee. And then we're just going to sit our hips back, reaching our hands forward. Kind of a variation of child's pose, but we also get a nice inner thigh stretch here. One more breath, breathing deeply. On your next inhale, slowly start to press up forward and then tuck that knee. We'll take it on the opposite side now. So that left heel is going to drive straight out behind, and then the foot is going to swing out wide. Toes are roughly in line with the knee. And then when you're ready, just shift your hips back towards your heel. Sort of slowly walk your hands forward. Breathing into that left thigh. One more moment. When you're ready, slowly start to press forward and tuck that left knee. From here, we're going to thread the needle. This will hopefully feel really nice, particularly if you felt like you've been holding a lot of tension in the upper back and shoulders. I know I felt like I have been doing that. We're going to flow through it 3 times and then hold it on the 3rd time. So coming back to our tabletop, inhale, lift the right hand up, fingertips up towards the ceiling, gaze can follow the thumb. And as you exhale, sweep that hand down and underneath, temple towards the floor. On your next inhale, big reach, big sweep. Exhale, sweep it down for 2. Last time to reach, open up the right side, right fingertips up towards the ceiling. And this time on the exhale, we're gonna stay here. So right temple comes to rest on the floor. The back of that right arm is pressing into the mat, kind of deepening the stretch across the shoulder. And here you have options. With that left hand, you can just walk it straight up off the front of your mat if that feels good. If it feels nice to reach those left fingertips up towards the ceiling, go for it. But whatever you do in this pose, make sure you feel like you're getting a nice stretch, starting to create a little space. If you like the bind, that's always available to you. One more breath. On your next exhale, let that left hand plant on the mat, and then you're going to press down through it to reset your tabletop. Good. We'll do that all again on the left side now. So remember, flow 3 times and then hold on the 3rd. So reset our table. Inhale, lift that left hand, fingertips reach towards the ceiling. Exhale, sweep that hand down. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, sweeping it down for 2. Last time to reach, big expansion across the chest. And then this time as you exhale, we're gonna stay here. So decide how you're gonna take the left-sided pose, maybe walking the hand up off the front of the mat, maybe extending those right fingertips up towards the ceiling. But wherever you take it, think about pressing the back of that left forearm into the floor to deepen the stretch across the chest. That's really our goal here. What we do with our right hand is just a little extra. One more breath here. And when you're ready, right hand plants and then press down through to reset your table. Beautiful. Go ahead from here, curl your toes and hover your knees just 1 inch or 2 off the floor. So you're really activating that upper body, pressing the floor away from you and then hovering the knees. Start to shift your hips back towards your heels and rock them forward. Shift back towards your heels and press forward. Shift your hips back towards your heels. This time stay here. And when you're ready, start to transition and open up out into down dog. You can start with a really nice bent knee down dog at first, particularly if you notice a lot of tension in the backs of your legs and hamstrings. I like to sort of systematically warm up my dog, so I start by pedaling out my feet, warming up the feet and ankles, pedaling out the calves, creating some length in the backs of the legs. We call this walking our dog. Maybe shift the hips, wag the tail. Just creating a little bit of movement in the back body and space. Notice how your hand placement is. Fingers should be spread wide and you're pressing through the finger pads and kind of anchoring through that index knuckle to take a little bit of the pressure off of your wrists. And then notice, are you feeling super scrunched with your shoulders up around your ears? See if you can soften the neck, soften the shoulders. Let your shoulder blades kind of travel down the back body, creating a little more length and space. Maybe give the head and neck a little gentle yes, a little gentle no. Beautiful. We're going to start to move through some sun A's here just to keep the body moving and get warm. So inhale up on both toes. Exhale, bend the knees, look to the front. Step or walk to the front of your mat. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, let it go, forward fold. On your next inhale, rise to standing, arms extend. And then when you're ready to exhale, take it all the way back down, forward fold. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step or walk the feet back, dropping to the knees and then lowering all the way to the belly. We're gonna take a cobra pose here and then I'm gonna show you a nice little upper back stretch that might feel good. So feet are together, tops of the feet on the mat, hands under the shoulders. Inhale, little cobra. When you're ready to exhale, let it go, lower down. Now, take your right arm and cross it over your left arm, almost as if you're trying to give yourself a hug. Your forearms are resting on the floor. And then just take your chin and kind of tuck it over that right arm. And now I want you to imagine really over-exaggerating the breath in that upper back. Breathing here. Opening up across the back, and tight shoulders. One more breath on this side and then we'll unwind and go the left way. Good. Slowly release your arms and uncross them. And now we'll do it the opposite direction. So this time the left arm is going to wrap in front of the right arm. Forearms are resting on the floor. Chin kind of hooks on the front of that arm. And just think about really breathing into that upper back here. Spreading the shoulders, spreading the shoulder blades with that breath. And then exhale, letting go of the tension that's maybe accumulated there. 2 more times. Last breath here. Good. Exhale, let it go. And then unwind the arms. Bring your hands back to your shoulders. And we're going to find our way back to down dog. Maybe that's pressing through tabletop. Maybe that's pressing through plank. It's all good. Beautiful. Again in a sun A. Inhale up on both toes. Exhale, bend the knees, look to the front. Step or walk to the front of your mat. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, let it go, forward fold. One full breath takes us all the way up, big expansion. Exhale, let it go. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step or walk the feet back, lowering to our belly however we get there, saving that inhale for that big yummy cobra or up dog. Shoulders back, heart forward, good. Exhale, shift back, find your way to down dog. Beautiful. Notice how we're feeling, a little bit warmer. Check in with the body and see if there's still any places we're gripping or holding on to. Rolling through another sun A here. Inhale up on both toes. Exhale, bend the knees, look to the front, step or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, let it go, forward fold. Inhale, big breath. When we get to the top here, we're gonna get a nice little side stretch here. So grab a wrist, lift it up, and bow it over towards the opposite side of the room. Big side body stretch here. Take a big full breath in here. Notice how that stretches the spaces between the ribs. Release and come back to center. And we'll switch sides. This time we're gonna grab that opposite wrist, lift it up, and then bow it over towards the opposite side. Big expansion, big breath here. This should feel good. Sort of a standing banana. One more moment. Inhale to stand. Exhale, take it down, forward fold. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step or walk the feet back. This time, if you want to try a variation, drop the knees, lower the torso halfway, tops of the feet release, and then you inhale into cobra. Beautiful. Exhale, shift back, down dog. Remember, we can all get to down dog in many, many different ways. So this morning, it's important to get there how you need to. All right. One last sun A. Inhale up on both toes. Exhale, bend the knees, look to the front. Step or walk to the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, reaching tall. This time as you get to the top, we're going to stay here with our exhale. Let your right hand come behind you. Left hand comes forward. A little standing twist. So keeping the crown of the head standing really tall and strong, lengthening up through the spine. Don't forget your breath here. On your next exhale, come back to center. Big inhale. This time as you exhale, left hand comes back, right hand reaches forward, twisting the opposite way. Nice soft belly breath. Reaching those fingertips away from one another. Big stretch, little twist. One more moment. On your next exhale, hands come back to center. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, take it back down, forward fold. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, stepping or walking the feet back, finding our way down to the mat, saving that inhale for that big delicious cobra or up dog. Beautiful. Exhale, shifts us back, down dog. All right, before we transition to the flow part of class, again, remember, keep in mind if at any point you need to take a sip of water, take a towel break or a child's pose so you can come back to that belly breath we started. Go ahead and listen to your body. Join us when you're ready. We're practicing together. We're apart. It's all good. Ooh. All right. So for the first couple rounds of this practice, we're going to be starting and coming back to mountain. And then later on, we'll be stepping forward and stepping back. We'll get into it, but again, take it as far as you need to go today. All right, so from our down dog, we got to get to mountain first. Inhale up on both toes. Exhale, bend the knees, look to the front. Step or walk to the front of your mat, of your space. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, rise to stand, arms extend. And then exhale, hands come heart center. Beautiful. Take a second to ground here. Really notice the four corners of your feet, right? Kind of taking out your toes and grounding down through just under the toes here and here, backs of the heels here and here. Feel super strong and supported. Inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to sink into chair pose to start. If your shoulders need a little bit of a break, you can widen your arms out to goalpost arms or bring them back together. It's heart center. That's nice too. But we're going to think about grounding into our chair first. So heavy in the heels, light enough in the toes that you can wiggle them. Legs are active, midsection is zipped in. You want to try to avoid flaring your ribs. Belly breath here, just keeping everything nice and supported and grounded. So to transition from here, start to get heavy in the left foot, lift your right foot back and step it back to crescent pose. Widening your feet as you need to. Remember, we don't want our feet to be on the same track. You want to imagine like railroad tracks or snow skis. And again, you can keep your hands together at prayer. Coming back to the midline helps us feel more stable. If you enjoy extending the arms, go ahead and do so. So really active legs here. 2 more breaths, you're doing great. One more moment. Now here is where we're going to come forward to the front of the mat instead of going to the back. Inhale. Exhale, start to hover forward and step those right toes up. Inhale, lengthen, extended mountain. And then hands come down to prayer. Beautiful. All right, we're going to do that again, but now coming to crescent on the opposite side. So inhale, exhale, sinking into chair to get grounded. Again, taking any hand variation that feels good. Gotta ground first. Set on our roots. Focusing on our breath. And then when you're ready, this time we're gonna get heavy in that right foot. Left toes lift and step back. Crescent pose on this side. Same thing as before. Decide what helps you feel best in this pose in terms of your arm placement, and then make it happen. Take a peek and make sure, notice when I lifted my arms, I didn't let my ribs, or I tried not to anyway, let my ribs flare out, keeping everything whoosh, zipped in close to the midline. 3 more breaths here. You're doing amazing. Legs are working hard to keep us strong and stable. One more moment. When you're ready to exhale, start to hover the torso over that thigh. Step the left foot up and then inhale. Big victorious breath. Exhale, hands come back to heart center. Beautiful. All right. We're going to do that this time, coming forward and back, but adding on twists. So hands together. Inhale, lengthen the arms. Exhale, sinking into chair. Again, if your shoulders need a break, decide what you're going to do with them. We're grounding first. Now for chair twist, everybody's going to bring hands to heart center. Think about as you inhale, lengthening up through the crown of your head, and as you exhale, we're going to twist to the right. So your left elbow is going to fit perfectly in that little groove just above the knees. If a shallow twist is kind of more your speed this morning, if you want to take it a little bit deeper, left tricep can come to the outside of that right thigh. Wherever you are though, think about breathing into that belly. Noticing how even in a twist, our breath can expand into the places that it's allowed and just create some space. One more breath here. When you're ready to exhale, return torso to center. Inhale, stand it up just to create a little space first. And now we're gonna step back with the right foot, crescent pose. So setting up for crescent twist, hands are gonna come to center. Take a second to make sure legs are wide enough that you're feeling stable and they're super active, pressing down into the floor, coming into the midline just to help us feel strong and stable. Inhale through the spine. As you exhale, start to hover the torso forward, and then right elbow is going to come to the left thigh. So breathing deeply, same nice abdominal breath here. Gaze can be down at the foot or at the sidewall. One more moment here. When you're ready to exhale, return torso to center. Inhale, the hands up, lengthen, and then step the toes forward. We made it. Nice. Exhale, hands back to heart center. Beautiful. Doing that again now, but focusing chair twist and crescent twist to the opposite sides. Start with grounding. Inhale, lengthen the hands. Exhale, sink the hips. Connect first with that solid, stable base you're making. And then when you're ready, hands come together at prayer or at heart center. Inhale, lengthening up through the crown of the head. As you exhale, this time, right elbow comes either to the groove at the tops of the knees or right tricep comes to the outside of the left thigh. Breathing here. Breathing into all those areas that even though they're twisted, you can still create some space. Gaze can be down at the floor at your feet or at the sidewall. Even up over that left shoulder, but only if it's comfortable to do so. 2 more breaths here. Into the belly. This is definitely not the time to hold the breath. You got this. On your next exhale, return torso to center. Inhale to bring some space back to the body. Yum, yum, yum. Big expansion, and then when you're ready this time, we're gonna step back with those left toes, crescent pose on this side. So same thing, squiggle your feet a little bit wider as you need to so that your base feels nice and supportive. Legs are active. When you're ready, hands come together. Inhale as you lengthen up through the top of your head. Exhale, twisting to the right this time, so that left tricep is gonna come to the right thigh. Think about working your hands in towards the center of your chest, deepening the twist. Don't forget the breath. One more moment here. On your next exhale, return torso to center. Inhale, lengthen. Come to standing, stretch it out. Woo, give it a little wiggle if you need a wiggle. Twists definitely create a little bit of tension in the body. But then as we move, we can kind of discharge it and let it go. Beautiful. You guys are awesome. Okay, so we're gonna add on to that while this time, instead of stepping forward, we're gonna come to the back. You'll have an opportunity for some kind of vinyasa flow or a chaturanga, if that's kind of calling your name this morning. But remember, if at any point you need to take a sip of water, like right now, or take a child's pose, please feel free to do so. All right. So coming from mountain, start with the grounding. Inhale the hands up long. As you exhale, sinking into chair. So starting with the twists. Hands come together at heart center. Inhale, lengthen up through the top of the head. Exhale, twisting to the right. Two more breaths here. When you're ready to exhale, return torso to center. Inhale to expand the body. Exhale, stepping back with the right foot, crescent pose. So left foot is forward, right leg is back. Hands together at heart center. Inhale as you lengthen up through the crown of the head. Exhale, twisting to the left. Right tricep comes to the outside of the left thigh. One more moment. Here's where we're changing it up. As you exhale, return torso to center. Hands are gonna plant. Sweep that left leg back, three-legged dog. So roll out that left leg if it's gonna feel good. Maybe peel it open and stretch the side body if you prefer. If you feel like taking a chaturanga, here's where you can add it in. If you're ready, just go ahead and drop those left toes down to meet the right. Pausing for just a moment in down dog. Notice any tension, see if you can soften. And we're gonna lead with that left side again. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, driving the foot between the hands, lifting back up to crescent pose. So grounding here, remember our feet are wide. One last pose we're adding on here. This is where our balance component is going to be today. So start to hover your torso over that front thigh. Thinking all the best, most supportive, positive vibes you can about that front leg. We're going to lift up into warrior three. So carefully rising up off those right toes. Remember, think about a little bit of up dog chest with the upper body. Lengthening back through that right leg. Active foot here. Decide what you want to do with your hands. I'm always a fan of hands together at center. Coming back to the midline helps our stability. You've got this for 2 more breaths. Little micro bend in that standing leg to protect the knee. Inhale. Exhale, right toes come down to meet the left. Inhale, let it go. Maybe a little shake, maybe a little wiggle to let go of that tension that accumulated with the balance pose. I feel like there's so much transition happening in our lives right now. To me, transitions equal twists, and just being able to kind of process the different things that we're going through, to me that just sounds and feels like twists. So I'm hoping that this practice will just reinforce your resilience, like reinforce your confidence in your ability to get through all these transitions, because you got this. So we're going to do that now on the opposite side. I probably should have started class with that little bit about the intention behind today's practice. All right, it's okay, better late than never. Inhale, the hands up long. Exhale, sinking into chair. Remember all the twists and turns of life right now. We are practicing here on our mat. So inhale, lengthen up through the crown of your head. As you exhale, we're going to twist to the left. Either elbow to groove or tricep to the outside of the thigh. Two more breaths here. Don't lose that nice, calm, even abdominal breath. No rush. You know where we're headed. So when you're ready, on the exhale, return torso to center. Inhale to stretch it out. Bringing space back to the body. And this time we're going to step back with our left foot. So left foot steps back, right foot steps forward. I had a 50-50 shot of getting it right. All right. And again, grounding down first. Legs are strong and stable. Hands come together. Inhale, reaching up through the top to lengthen the spine. As you exhale, twisting to the right this time. So left tricep comes to rest on that thigh. Breathing into the belly here. One more moment. Remember, here's where we change things up. As you exhale, return torso to center, and then plant the hands, sweep that right leg back, three-legged dog. Maybe roll that leg out if it's going to feel good. Maybe peel it open to open up that right side. If you feel like adding a chaturanga or some other kind of vinyasa, here's your spot. If you're with me, just drop your right toes to meet the left. Take a breath here in down dog. Big inhale. Sigh it out, exhale. Beautiful. All right. Remember, leading with the right leg this time. Inhale, the right heel up. Exhale, driving the foot between the hands. Let your inhale lift you up, crescent pose. So ground the feet, feel strong and stable. Remember, our last pose is our balance work. Transitioning to warrior three. So on the exhale, start to hover that torso over that front thigh. Get heavier and heavier and heavier in that right foot so that your left toes can lift up off the floor, warrior three. Micro bend in that right knee. Keeping everything active. We're not locking anything out. If you like hands in airplane arms or extended, it's all good. Take it where you need it to go. Two more breaths here. You're doing amazing. And when you're ready to come out of the pose, carefully let those right toes touch down. Woo! Inhale to bring some space. If you need a wiggle, take a wiggle. Beautiful. All right. One more time through that. I'm not going to add anything else into it. We'll take it a little bit more quickly. You know where we're headed, so take it at your pace. We're just going to really try to focus on connecting movement and breath. You got this. Inhale, the hands up tall. Exhale, sinking the hips. Grounding in chair. Hands are together at prayer. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twisting to the right. One more breath. On the exhale, come back to center. Inhale to stretch it up. Yay! And then exhale, stepping back, right toes. Crescent pose. Hands come back to the midline. Remember, midline brings us stability. On the inhale, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, twisting to the left. Breathe into that belly. Focus on how strong you are. One more breath. As you exhale, return torso to center, hands plant, left toes sweep back, three-legged dog. Any old kind of stretch here, rolling out that hip. If you feel like taking your chaturanga here, go for it. If you're with me, just drop your left toes down to meet your right. Notice what you're feeling, feel what you notice. When you're ready, inhale those left toes up. Exhale, driving the foot, widening that back foot as needed because we're lifting up into crescent pose. Here for a moment to ground. Remember, transitioning to our balance posture here. So torso starts to come up over that thigh. Stronger and stronger and stronger. We push down through that left foot so that our right leg can lift. Here for 3 breaths. You got this. When you come to that third breath, those right toes are going to safely land on earth. We're going to inhale. Bring some space back to the body. Exhale, hands back to center. All right, beautiful. Last time. We got this. If I can keep my lefts and my rights straight, we got this. Inhale, the hands up tall. Exhale, sink the hips. Grounding in chair. Taking a moment here. Remember to set up for the twist. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twisting to the left. Either elbow to the crook or tricep to the thigh. Whatever feels best in your body. One more moment here. As you exhale, return to center. Inhale to bring some space. And then stepping those left toes back. Crescent pose. So this time that right leg is forward. You guys got this. Hands together. We are twisting and turning all over the place, y'all, but you got this. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twisting to the right. Don't forget the breath here. Notice your breath. Notice your thoughts. If either of them are feeling tight or stressed, just see where you can soften. One more moment. On your next exhale, torso comes back to center, hands plant, right toes sweep back, three-legged dog. Decide here what your body needs and give it. Maybe you need to roll that leg out. Maybe you need to stretch it. Maybe you need one more chaturanga. Maybe you just want to process everything in down dog. It's all good. Inhale, big full breath. Exhale, sigh it out. Ha. All right, last time here. Inhale the right heel up. Exhale, driving the foot between the hands. Widening those feet so we can inhale and lengthen up into crescent pose. Moment of truth here, final balance posture, right? So torso comes over that front leg. Push, push, push down through that right leg. Lift the left toes up. Warrior 3. Little tiny bend in that standing leg to protect the joint. One more breath, you got this. And when you're ready, carefully let those left toes touch down. Inhale to bring some space back to the body. One final reach. Exhale, hands back down, together to the midline. We did it! Nice job, guys. All right, from here we're gonna transition onto the floor for some seated poses, just to start to kind of stretch things out a little bit. So just come to a comfortable staff pose to start. So sitting with the legs, reaching it in front, feet are flexed. I like to kind of scooch my seat out from underneath me so that my sits bones are really connecting with my mat. Feel nice and grounded here. Lengthening up through the crown of the head so that our back is nice and supported. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, heart is kind of coming towards the toes as opposed to curling down towards the thigh. So we're bending from the waist here, reaching forward, grabbing for just below our knees, walking our hands down towards our shins or ankles, maybe reaching for the sides of our feet. Breathing here. Thinking about, as you inhale, imagine just a little teeny tiny bit of length coming from that upper body. And as you exhale, just relaxing and softening down. One more breath here. And on your next inhale, slowly start to lengthen up, back up through the crown of the head. Good. Keep that left leg extended. Now lift your right leg, cross it up and over. Little seated half Lord of the Fishes here. So my right leg is snuggled in pretty close to my body. My right foot is on the floor. I'm going to wrap my left arm around the front of my leg. And I like a little bit of flair. I know it's shocking. I'm going to swing that inhale, right arm up and over in a big circle as I twist and exhale towards that right side. So thinking about really keeping that left foot active. Notice I'm flexing my left foot. Everything's grounded into the mat. Now, instead of wrenching your head back and then letting your torso catch up with it, think about turning the torso, letting the neck be the last thing to sort of slowly rotate back towards the back of your mat or the back of that right shoulder. One more breath here. On your next exhale, slowly soften out of that twist and come back to center. And we're gonna switch sides. So this time that right leg is going to be extended, really flexing the foot, grounding that leg. Left leg crosses up and over. The sole of my left foot is planted on the floor. I'm going to give that leg a little hug, a little squeeze, my right leg, and add some flair in here. Big inhale, exhale, twisting open to the left side. Remember, I'm not turning my neck and then catching my body up. I'm slowly turning my body. And then if it feels good and spacious to do so, let my little neck start to turn towards the left. Keeping that anchored leg, that right leg, pushing down. One more moment. Inhale, exhale, slowly return to center. Beautiful job. We are going to transition and do a little bit of work in bridge pose. Stay where you are. I'm going to turn around just because I think you'll be able to get a better sense of what I'm doing. We're going to take a bridge pose, and then we're actually going to counter pose it with just wrapping our arms in eagle arms. And so what I want you to think about is as you're lifting up into bridge pose, you're compressing the muscles of that upper back body, that thoracic area of your body. So creating a little compression, and then with eagle pose, you're going to be able to open up and kind of uncompress everything, open up and expand across the back. So we'll do bridge and eagle wrapping one arm, and then again bridge and eagle wrapping the other way. And then hopefully you'll really notice what it feels like to create that compression and then expansion. All right, so find your comfortable bridge pose. So feet and knees are tracking towards the front of the room. You want to make sure your toes haven't gone wide or aren't kind of knocking in towards one another. They're hips distance apart, and then your heels are going to be close to your seat. On an inhale, start to lift up through the body, and then imagine you're opening up through that upper chest. So you're not only creating space across the front body, but you're creating what we talked about, that compression along the back body. If you like the hand clasp here, go ahead and take it. I'm just got my hands palm side down, resting at my side. Really thinking about that compression along that upper back. 2 more breaths here. Now when you're ready, slowly roll back to center. Extend your right arm up, and then you're going to bend it, and you're going to wrap your left arm under it. So coming to eagle arms. You might even have to rest your arms on your forehead, because I found doing eagle pose on the floor just felt a little bit more sort of cramped, I guess. If this doesn't work for you, just reach for opposite shoulders. You're still going to get that beautiful expansion across the back body, which after a pose like bridge, where we created so much compression, should feel extra yummy and spacious. So 2 more breaths here. Breathing into that upper back, either hands at shoulders or hands at eagle. I'll let you know a little secret. I was surprised at how difficult it felt like for me to do eagle pose on the floor when I did it earlier this week. It was, I'm sure I compensate when I'm doing it in standing poses. Go ahead and unwind the arms. Just let them rest on the sides. Notice what you feel on that right side, in the back body especially. All right. Setting up now on the left, I lied. We're gonna do bridge pose first and then eagle on the left side. So when you're ready for your second bridge, drive down through your heels, lift your upper body, strong backside body here, opening up the front body, but remember we're creating that compression along the muscles of that upper back. Creating tension, but when we recognize that we can soften and expand what we need to, becomes really useful. 2 more breaths here. Opening up the front body. And when you're ready, slowly soften back into the mat. And then this time, extend that left arm up and then bend the elbow. That right arm is going to wrap underneath of it for eagle on this side. And you're really going to feel, even close your eyes if that helps, feel what you're feeling on the inside in terms of that expansion across the upper back. Remember, if eagle pose laying down doesn't feel good, just reach for your opposite shoulders. Big expansion across the upper back. Breathing in to that upper back. 2 more moments. Go ahead and unwind the arms. We're going to set up for a supine twist. You know, if you've practiced with me before, it's not a class until we finish with a twist. If you have a favorite way to twist at the end of class, feel free to do that now. I'll show you my favorite way. Draw your left knee into your chest and send your left leg long all the way on the floor, heels on the mat. Inhale, imagine giving that left leg a little hug. And as you exhale, we're going to send that left leg across the body. You have options with your left arm. Either bringing it to goalpost arms might feel good. You get a nice little stretch across the front of the chest. You can just stretch it out from the shoulder joint. We did a lot of active twists today. So hopefully you can soften here into a little bit more of a relaxing twist. 2 more breaths. Bringing our attention back to that lower belly breath. On the exhale, go ahead and roll back to center. And then we'll switch sides. So this time that right leg hugs in close, left leg goes all the way to the floor. Inhale deeply. Exhale, send that right leg across the body. And decide what you're going to do with that right shoulder. Are you going to bend it at goalpost arms, or are you just going to extend it softly from the joint? Breathing into that belly. Two more moments. Softening here. Starting to slowly kind of bring our attention inward. What are we feeling? What are the sensations coming up for us? And as you exhale, just slowly roll it back to center.
And then one final active pose, if you're feeling it, we'll take just a little kind of meat, I call it meatball or tofu ball, whatever. So draw your knees into your chest, wrap your arms around your shins, give yourself a big, beautiful, congratulatory hug. You got onto your mat today, and in times like this, that can feel like a really difficult thing to do. But so be proud that you were able to make a little space and time for yourself today. Big hug, big squeeze, lots of love. And when you're ready, inhale. And imagine you're just unfolding out into Shavasana. Make any little adjustments you need to your feet and your shoulders. Really settle in here. Letting your feet flop open. Rest your arms away from your body so that air can really get around you and circulate. If it's comfortable to do so, go ahead and close your eyes and start to really turn your attention inward. Noticing your body as it rests on the floor. Feel that support. Be aware and grateful for that support, and see if you can soften into it. Just letting your body relax. No more reason to brace or grip. Bring your awareness up to the top of your head. Soften the area around your forehead and eyes. Relaxing cheeks and down through the jaw. Soften the muscles of the neck and moving that relaxation down into the shoulders. Relax the muscles of the upper arms, softening down through the elbows, through the forearms, down into the wrists and hands, and all the way out through the fingertips. Moving back up through the arms, elbows, and shoulders. Bring your awareness now to the area around your heart, softening the area of your heart space and relaxing your breath here. Relaxing down through the ribs and softening at navel center. Relax down through your pelvis and hips, just sort of softening as you go. Relax the muscles all around the thigh bones. Relax the knees. Relaxing the calves. Softening through the ankles and feet, all the way out through the tips of the toes. Slowly let your awareness travel back up through your body. Legs, hips, navel center, heart center. And finally, let your awareness rest just on your breath as it enters and exits your nose. Keeping your breath smooth and even here. Breathe as if your whole body is breathing. We'll stay here together for just a few moments and enjoy some much needed rest.
Slowly start to bring your awareness back to the room and gently bring a little movement back to the body. Wiggle out fingers and toes. Bring a little movement to wrists and ankles. Reach your arms overhead and stretch your feet towards the front of the room and enjoy a delicious full body stretch. From here, carefully transition onto one side, drawing your knees up and resting your head on your arm. Take a moment, one more moment here, just to draw your attention inward.